Alright guys, so let's go ahead and start claiming our part of the world. So we're going to come right down here. Now there is a cliff down here that we're going to run into that we'll have to bypass. Not a problem. I grabbed up a bunch of walls. I grabbed up a bunch of turrets. We're going to go ahead and start laying them. Now I could blueprint this and do it with the bots, but because they're nanobots, kind of a waste of the nanobots. Plus, there's something oddly satisfying to me about doing this part by hand. Not so much to laying the ammo in them. You can't do that with the bots anyway. But certainly the going through and laying down turrets and laying down walls, it's just a rhythmic, I don't know, whatever it is, but it's oddly satisfying to me. So we're just going to do it by hand. I don't know if we will have enough to do all of our walls, but we are going to do as much of it as we can. And get this section of the continent claimed for our uses. I'm only putting 10 each in these for now. Ultimately, we will fill these ones up with hundreds as well. The problem we're running into right now is steel production is low. Steel production is a lot slower than plate production is, or than iron plate production is. So that's where our bottleneck is right now. Once we get this section claimed, I think we're gonna work on fixing that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to rearrange the plan. We'll have a lot more room, so we're going to expand smelting, I think, so that we have our full bus lines of each. I'm not going to do it on camera. I mean, you guys have seen how each of the little sections has been built. We're just going to basically be rearranging them. I'm gonna make blueprints of everything, tear it all down, move it around and build it, since we'll have a lot more room. May not do that right away, but we are going to do that. We're going to revamp our layout. It's one thing with this game, you know, taking the stuff down is not going to destroy it. It's simply going to put it in storage. It's all reusable unless you do away with it. So nothing says that if a design's not working for you, or it's not laying out well for you, or you find a better way, tear it down, start over. Nothing wrong with that. Or abandon it in place, move on to a new location. Once we get to a point where taking territory is a lot easier, like when we have lasers and stuff, and keeping territory is a lot easier than trying to go through and fill all of these things with ammo, there is nothing stopping you from just walking away from a location, leaving it to do its little thing, and starting someplace new. In fact, as you run out of resources in a location, you will end up making outposts for things like iron production and what have you. Now, the reason I am laying claim to an entire area right now as opposed to outposts around, say, the iron and stuff like that, is because I don't have the wherewithal to go back and forth to defend them. I don't have I mean, I have trains researched, but I don't have trains yet. I don't have all this stuff that I can go and supply those areas with ammo. It's going to be a lot easier to do that once we have something like lasers that are ammo-less, other than fuel. So, you know, we'll deal with it at the time. Another fishy. Let's grab him. So we want to make sure that we cover our shallows so that they don't come up inside of our wall. We can't walk down there, so I think we've got that covered. But, you know, we want to make sure they can't come across these shallows and come up on our wall, that they can't path to it. I could turn the shallows off, or I could have turned the shallows off at the beginning of the game for the map generation, but I did not, and I'm fine with that. I don't mind the shallows. It makes it a little bit more of a challenge. We may not have enough guns to do an ammo to do our whole thing, but we are going to get as much of it done as we can, and then once we have it surrounded, then we will go back and we will clear out any biters that we've trapped inside of our fence line. Now, thankfully, once we have cleared an area and we have prevented anything to getting into that area, they can't respawn within that area. They can't dig under our walls and suddenly crop up in the middle of our base. That would suck. It would make for a whole different game if, say, they could do that and the only way to prevent it would be to put down concrete. That would make for a whole different, interesting game. Now, there may be mods out there, I don't know, I'd have to go through the mod list, that maybe do that. That maybe you have to concrete in your base to prevent them from popping up inside your base. That would make a whole different style of play for me, because like I say, I like to take these large areas and claim them as my own, at least, especially early in the game, before I go out and I do outpost building. That would change all of that. That would completely change my playing style, because concrete is resource intensive, so you would end up having to build small outposts as opposed to these big sprawling bases. That would be weird. That would be a very much a different challenge. Would be something to see. Okay, so we want the oil, so we're gonna have to come down and over. So we're gonna have to take out this biter base so that we can start to come down, and we're gonna have to take out these guys, I guess. So let us go kill these guys, and then I think we'll come across right here. We'll use this cliff as our kind of a reference, and we'll come right across here. We're gonna have to take this these bases out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7 spawners, I guess it is, and then we got a spawner there and a spawner there. So let's go ahead and take these guys here out. Now we're going to turn off our bots. We're going to do this the sneaky way. I'm going to turn off our bots. We're going to set our blueprints down. And then we're going to turn on our bots and fill them up. There we go. Kind of a sneaky way to do it, but it's effective. I like it. And I think that will carry over into our construction bots as well. And what I mean by that is you didn't used to be able to turn off your roboports outside of your suit. You had to go in to your suit, turn off your roboports, turn on your roboports, etc. They added, I think it was in 18 that they added it, to where you can now, there's a switch down here on your hotbar that you can turn the roboport on and off. So I think we'll be able to do the same thing when it comes time to start using our regular bots, that we will be able to just turn our bots on and off and kind of do this little sneaky lay a whole bunch of you know, blueprints down. I know. Wood. Oh well. We're out of room. I don't care. It's just a little bit of wood. We can go pick it up later. So we're going to come down to here. Alright, we're going to use that wall, or that cliff face. We got enough room now for the wood. Alright. We can pick some of it up at least, I guess. Waste not, want not. I'd like to go get the fish too, but we'll go fishing later. Alright. Now, are there any shallows there that we can get around that wall? No. Okay. Oh, well, we got room. We can pick these fish up. We're going to pick the fish up because we're going to need them later for more healing packs. Might as well get the ones while we can. We're not going to get all of them right now, but get what we can. Alright. I'm doing this wrong, actually. I like to have the corners fully filled in. So I like to start from the corners. Now, we're going to use that cliff as one part of our wall, but we're still going to want a 3 thickness wall. You can't put one there. Okay. There we go. Right? And that's where our wall is going to go. How's that look? It's going to get us under that oil. Very nice. All right. We'll carry this out a little further. Oops. till we have to start chopping stuff down again. Gotta go around that cliff. Alright. Now that's going to cause us a couple of issues, and we won't be able to put turrets there, but we'll adapt and overcome. There's enough overlap and enough distance on these turrets that at least initially we should be just fine. We'll go all the way up to where we can't go anymore. Get to this corner, we'll restart our science. So, if anybody's got any thoughts on things that I could do better, I'm sure there are thoughts out there on things I could do better. By all means, you know, let me know. It's how we all learn, right? You know, if there's something I can do better, if there's something you want to see, let me know. As I've explained in other videos on other stuff, I'm no expert on any of this stuff. I play these games because I like to play them. If somebody wants to watch me play them and they get a little bit of amusement or entertainment or even knowledge out of it, great. That's why I record them and put them up. But to be honest, I just play them because I like to play them. You know, if I wasn't enjoying myself, I wouldn't be doing this. So, you know, if you got something that you want to see me do, you got another game you'd like to see me try out, by all means, let me know. If I'm doing something stupid in this and you think I'm doing something stupid in this, by all means, let me know. You know, I've learned from you guys as much as anything else. And I'd rather do, you know, I'd like to learn. I'd rather work smarter, not harder on this game. Alright, let's do this. So modules, we're going to get the speed module. We're just going to go through. Now that's concrete walls, which would be nice. They're stronger than regular walls, so we'll see. But we're just going to go through, since we're really kind of not, we're down to the end of our red and green. We're almost into our blacks. We're just going to go ahead and bang them out in no particular order right now. Just going to grab what we can grab. Let's go up around this cliff. So 1, 2, 3. 3 thickness. Excuse me. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way to the other shore there. We may not have enough guns to do it. We'll see. we don't have enough to do it, we will either do it next video, or I will do it off camera and we'll do something else. But I think the rearranging stuff I'm going to definitely do off camera. I don't think that'll be, I think that'll be boring more than anything else. Mostly it'll be a lot of picking stuff up, putting stuff down. Like I say, I will blueprint all of the little factories, and we're just going to basically move location for them. More so than anything else. Alright, so let's clear our path. And you see how this stuff is all kind of starting to die off a little bit, so our pollution is getting down here and getting to them. Which is why they don't like us. Which, have an ex-girlfriend, had a girlfriend at one time, that basically, we kind of agreed is that, you know, we are human locusts. Any technology that humans contribute per se, I think mostly comes down to just a furthering of the hive and the species, and I don't know that a lot of it really kind of benefits the world or science or whatever, or not science, but like the universe. What benefit do we bring other than consume? I don't know. Maybe we do. Maybe I'm just a little tainted these days. It just, the longer I live, the more I see, the more I begin to wonder what benefit to anything other than our own selves as a race, or as a species, not as a race, but as a species, what exactly do we bring to the big picture? You know, we consume, and we spread out into the vastness. And I'm not saying we're the only species that does that. I mean, that's kind of most species, I guess. But in some ways, we can kind of look at that and liken ourselves to locusts. We're going to end up having to go back and get more guns. I thought I had enough. But, you know. There you go, thinking again. I did not build another car. Would have been easier to come down here with a car full of stuff, I guess. But part of it is I'm not patient. I didn't wait very long before we started this next episode. Where are we at? Up here. Okay. Probably from that one there. That's fine. How we doing? We're getting there. Slowly but surely. And we will bring radars down here as well, and expand our radar coverage too, so that we will start to see more of the continent. One of the things I have done in the past is, once I've had accumulators and solar, is I've gone out and I've made a blueprint for a remote radar site, and I basically just wandered around with a bunch of supplies and plopped down a bunch of these radar sites in the middle of nowhere, and with enough solar panels and enough accumulators to just keep them running, and walls, to just keep them running for as long as they'll run before the biters come and destroy them. And I've gone around and opened up like tons of a map that way, just by putting these little remote sites. I mean, you don't get to see the biter expansion, but you can that way see, you know, a better part of the map. You can see more of what's going on. We only got 32 more of these, and they take up 2 squares each, I believe it is. So we got enough for 64 more sections. Let's see, 1, 2, yeah. So when that drops to 40, that's all the more guns we have. It's right to there. But that's okay. We'll run back up, get some more guns, come back down. By the time we get up there, we'll have much more guns built. We'll be able to snag the guns. There we go. Plus, it'll let us drop off some of this other stuff we got in our inventory that we need to get rid of anyway. In the vein of the fact that I do this just for my own entertainment and what have you, I could go in and I could edit these videos and speed them up in places or skip stuff over. But again, for the viewership that I have, which is only 1 or 2 people really right now, and for the interest that people have in this, I have to manage my time the way I manage my time. And if I'm already playing it, and then I'm going to have to turn around and take another hour to, you know, edit and, you know, what have you, that takes away from my playtime. Whereas this way, I can just go through, play my game, record it, throw it up on YouTube, walk away and go do whatever else I need to do while it's loading, and not spend that time. If my membership, if my viewership was bigger and what have you, then that might be something I would do. It would certainly be worth doing. But in this particular case, you know, time management. So that's why I don't edit these videos. Because like I say, I do it mainly for my own entertainment and edification. And if somebody else gets something out of it, great. And kind of the way I see it is, given how much I fuck up, it's an opportunity to see it firsthand. And to see just what sort of mental gymnastics I do or don't go through on a semi-regular basis. We're actually using up some stone now. Oh, we missed one over there. We did that one though. Yeah, I've no doubt we're using up some iron. We're always going to be going through the iron. That's just a given. Alright. How are we doing on ammo? We'll pick up whatever ammo's here. Oh, wow. That's nice. Let's dump out what we can. We'll sort it later. Yeah, we'll sort it later. Let's grab our ammo. Let's grab our turrets. We got grenades. Let's just go up here, grab the turrets. There's 100 more turrets. I shrank that down some. I thought 4 was too many. Or actually I thought 6 was too many, and then when I grabbed all that stuff I said, okay, we got enough now, we'll just go ahead and do it. And it turns out it's not enough. It's okay. Part of it is we got all these ones that are now going to be inside our new wall. We are going to tear those ones down and use them. We'll reuse the walls, we'll reuse the turrets. Once we're sure the other walls are secure, and once we're sure there are no biters within our walls, we will tear our old walls down and move them out. Now, in some ways I suppose that's dangerous, at least with the leaving the walls there. We have fire breaks that if something does get inside, then they hit another wall and they would have to do it. But you know, I live a little dangerous, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and just, you know, expand outward and leave the interior defenseless. I've always had fairly decent luck with that. You know, once in a blue moon I'll have something get in, but they get really distracted and concentrate on an area at a time. So when it does happen, I can run in and they don't spread all over your base. It's not like I'm chasing them all over the base. They'll be in one area. I can come in, I can wipe them out, I can rebuild that little bit of an area, and I can move on from it. I don't have to, you know, chase them all through like an infestation or whatever. They seem to, when they break through, they don't hide out until they grow. They immediately go after things. Now, if the AI for the game, if the devs changed it to where when they got through your walls, they didn't immediately attack your shit. If they like went and they hid out and they grew into some bases before they came after you, man, that would be a whole different thing. You would be looking for them all the time. That's where radar and stuff coverage would come in handy across your entire base, because you would at least start to see them pop up and maybe have a little bit of warning. Now I know there's the biters right above us. I'm hoping to get this wall all the way across before we have to deal with them. We will have to deal with them because they are kind of close to the wall. They will start coming down here and attacking from behind, and since the wall is on the other side of the guns, there will be no protection. We will need to, you know, address that. But I am hoping to get across this before we do. Although, I don't know if we're going to have enough to get all the way across, because we got that base we're going to have to deal with. Alright, let's do this. Let's get this guy out of our way so that we're not having to deal with him. Turn this off. One there. One there. One there. We'll go even so far as one there. That's pretty bold to be able to do this way. I like that. It's similar to having laser blueprints with the power lines all laid out and just walking them up there, only this way we're laying our blueprints all the way up to them first before they even know we're here. It's very very psyops. I like that. Yeah, I'm digging that. That is a technique that I am probably going to incorporate much more often, along with the tanks run them over technique, and later on the nuke them from space technique. I really am kind of looking forward to seeing with the space exploration mod, if once we launch satellites it will show us the planet or not. One of the things I always thought would be really kind of cool in the vanilla game, and I think at one time it did eliminate fog of war as soon as you launched satellites, but I can't remember. There's a part of me that vaguely seems to remember that as being the case. I'd have to go back and reload an old version of the game to see, but for some reason I seem to remember once you launched a satellite it took away fog of war. But what I thought would be neat is if when you launched a satellite it scanned the fog of war kind of like a satellite would, that you get a swath at a time, and maybe that swath is only visible for so long while the satellite is passing over, and then it goes back to fog of war until you get a point where you have enough satellites in orbit that you've kind of covered the whole of the planet. I thought that might be an interesting way to kind of go with things, but I don't know. I don't know if they could implement that easily or not. I don't know if a modder could implement that easily, but it'd be kind of a neat little way of doing things, I always thought. I don't know. We are almost at an hour for this. We have almost gotten to the coast. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to completely make it, but we're going to try. So the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go down here and take care of the spider base so that we can come across. So let's see if we can clear our path through our forest for our wall. See how close we can get. And then we'll go down and we'll wipe out that biters. We're not going to lay down the guns, we're not going to lay down the walls, we're just going to clear the path. So that once we're done killing the biters, we can finish the wall out to the sea, or out to the water. Scale-wise, I guess we would just call all of these large lakes. There's really no oceans per se on this map, at least not so far. It's really kind of like all large lakes, if you will. Alright, what is the best way to get to these guys? Because they are behind a cliff. As if we put it one there, would that reach? One there. One there. One there. That would get us started. It. Now how can we get down there fast enough to take care of the rest of them? How do we get around the cliff face? Right here. Alright, there we go, we got it. Nice! Nice, nice, nice. Okay, and we lost one turret. And the ammo that was in it, that's life. Yeah, we just lost one turret. I can live with that. All right, so let's lay our wall all the way to the cliff. Right, that'll take us to the cliff. How can we get around the cliff? There's the cliff. Alright. So then we want to go in line with it. And again, we don't want to be able to get around the shallows. Let's grab these fish. Right? We won't be able to get up on the shallows, which is what we want. Actually, we missed it by one, but that's okay. I think there is the... Yeah, that's in line with the... That's okay. Walls are cheap. At some point, we may even make the walls bigger. These little pissy ant walls and such are no match for behemoths, however the frack you pronounce it. So at some point these walls would be ineffective anyway, regardless. Behemoth. There we go. But that's why we try to keep our biters pushed back past our pollution cloud as best we can, so that their evolution stays as low as possible. Plus, that's less of them we're drawing in at a time. And eventually we get to a point where, with the lasers and the upgrades to the lasers, as far as damage and things like that, 2 rows of lasers fed by a nuke plant generally tends to cover most everything that we have to worry about. Now, we didn't quite make it all the way, but we made it far enough that the overlap just barely seems to touch from the looks of it. I think we'll be okay. So, we'll have one more wall to do. down and close the rest of this off. We have enough walls to do it. We just don't have enough turrets right this second. We don't have quite enough to finish up this section of wall either. But we will by the time we go up to base. We can pick those up, bring them back down here, and finish this. And we won't do that on camera. I won't torture you guys that much. I'm just gonna finish up what we can here. See what we got up there. Figure out what we have to do to finish this wall. And now we have oil. We have oil within our base. We'll be able to start doing our oil stuff. And oil and fluid handling is where it gets really interesting. The dynamics of it are a little different than belts and factories. You have very specific gazintas and gazatas for fluid. You can't mix fluids on the same pipe, whereas with belts you can mix different stuff on the same belt and with no problem, what have you. You can't do that with fluids. Alright, so there we go. We are there. Now the next thing we said we wanted to do is come across here, and that will basically close in this area. So we just need to come across here, and we got this big cliff, so we can come across to that cliff and then across to there and use that cliff face as a big saver for both walls and turrets. Alright, so what do we got here? We got core mining. That's kind of cool. Allows endless extraction of resources from planets and moons, but has diminished returns if multiples are used on the same body. Interesting. So if we do a core miner and we put one down, it starts giving us stuff from right here, and then we're going to put it in a pulverizer, which that's all space exploration stuff, but we'll be able to use it on this planet. That'll be nice. So start research, start research, start research. What is this? Mining productivity, inserter capacity. All right, now we are into, it looks like, blue science and military science. So we are going to leave it at that for right now. We're going to knock out all the blue, all the red and the green. We might be able to get some more red and green down here. I don't know. No, it doesn't look like. We got to go through the blue first to get to it, which is kind of weird, but whatever. So that will knock out all the red and green that we can get without military. And then we'll have to start looking. I mean, we've got the military science. We're using the bullets right now. So yeah, there we go. All right, guys. So that will get us going. We're going to run back up here. We're going to get some more turrets and bring them down there. We're going to close off that other section, and that's going to be it. So I think we're going to call this a video. It has been almost an hour, which is about what I try to keep these videos to. I know there's a YouTube philosophy on video length, and there's two different outlooks on it. There's those that subscribe to the idea of no more than 30 minutes, and then there's those of us who do hour-long videos. And I guess the idea being that nobody wants to watch an hour-long video, people are going to log off of it. Well, I get that, but you can't do as much in a half-an-hour video unless you're doing a lot of editing, in my opinion, or it's just a talk show. But these Let's Plays, you know, more is easier, I guess, if you will. Having said that, if you're bored by the fact that these are an hour long and you don't want to watch them at double speed. You can still understand what he said, and it kind of sounds fun. I actually, believe it or not, I watch my own videos sometimes just to review some things, but I watch them at double speed, and it's almost a little relaxing in some respects. I don't know, I like it. So yeah, if you don't want to watch it and take an hour to watch it, by all means, you know, turn the speed up and watch it that way. I won't hate you for it. I don't hate people. I try not to hate people anyway. I can't say I don't hate people, because there are people I hate, trust me, and they pretty much know who they are. But you know, I try not to as best I can. So anyway, there it is. I am going to go and I'm going to finish walling in this area. I'm going to go over and do this one and knock it out and have it done. And then we will have this area and we will have the oil, which is what we wanted. So I will talk to you guys later, and next time I see you, that will be done. And we'll go from there. All right. Bye, guys.